Welcome to the League 2.0 podcast, featuring your hosts, Charlie Little and Kyle Jackson.
Heyo, League 2.0 podcast. It's been 2 weeks. This time it's on me. My bad. Sorry, Kyle. Anyways, Kyle, how are you doing?
I am good. Just got home from work a little bit ago. Ready to talk about some fantasy football.
Yeah, you're into overtime season, eh?
Oh, yeah. It's tire season. Even though it's 22 degrees out, it's tire season. We've been doing winter tires for like a month, and it's been hot. I'm like, why are you guys doing this? What kind of deal did my boss give you to make you come in here?
Yeah, some people get very, paranoid about it, I guess. I don't know. People, it's like a little dusting of snow, and people are really worried they don't have their snow tires on.
Like, I guess, but you're technically not even supposed to put them on until November 1st. I think the insurance, they don't want you to put them on until then.
Really? Oh.
I believe so. There's something in the insurance contract. I don't know what it is. We can stop talking about tires now. I'm over tires.
Okay. You don't think people want to hear about
No.
There's other. Do you want to share your other news? That is out there.
What other news? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's kind of a big deal. I feel like could be wrong.
I suppose. Okay, so Francis and I, who does not know this, are having a child. We are 19 weeks, and yesterday we found out I am having a boy. So that is big news. That's exciting.
Little Kyle Jr.
Little Kyle Jr.
It's pretty cool, man. I'm so excited for you. And obviously with Waverly, we're very excited. So
yeah, exactly.
That'll be a lot of fun. We're gonna have a lot of fun play dates in the future.
I'm gonna get some hockey sticks, skates right away, day one. It's gonna cut its own umbilical cord with a skate.
Oh my god. Anyways, that's some huge news. So I hope you guys all, if you didn't know about that, send a little congrats Kyle's way in the chat. And that way we'll know that you're actually listening to the podcast. I'm not even sure if anyone listens anymore. Like,
who knows?
We post the podcast and no one even says. I think maybe Winter. Winter might be our one true fan. Yeah. And I know Finney does listen as well. And my dad. Okay, there are people. We'll take 3 listeners. That's good enough for me.
Oh, that's more than enough for me.
So it's been 2 weeks. Obviously, we've missed out on some things to talk about. So we'll talk about them now. Obviously, the trade deadline passed in the NFL, and there was actually some moves. It's like this league, there aren't usually that many trades. So there was
quite a bit for once.
Some decent ones that impact fantasy in some way or another.
Yep.
I'd say one of the bigger ones, although I'm not sure how much it really impacts it, but TJ Hawkinson was traded to the Vikings.
Honestly, the biggest impact of that to me is that they traded within division, which is surprising.
That weird? Detroit is so weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know what Detroit's ever doing. It doesn't seem like they ever want to win. But
this year they were supposed to be so much better, and remember they had the what's that show that follows them? They had
Hard Knocks.
Hard Knocks, yeah, and I heard a lot of people were fooled into thinking they'd be competitive because of that show, and then obviously they're not. Yeah, and haven't they used a ton of draft picks on defensive players?
They have.
And their defense is one of the worst. It just doesn't add up.
I do think Hawkinson will be a good asset to the Vikings. I think it makes them more playable because I know he was doing a lot of blocking in Detroit. He was on and off, either being good week, bad week. And Kirk Cousins is probably a better quarterback than Jared Goff. Not probably. He is, as long as it's not prime time. So I think Hawkinson could be a top 10 tight end the rest of the year, even though he probably would have been in Detroit as well, but I think there's still more upside there.
Yeah, that's fair. That's totally fair. One of the other trades, this impacts me because I have him. Nyheim Hines to the Bills, which Zach Moss was sent back to Indy. Do you think that helps or inhibits either of these players?
I think they'll both maybe get more opportunity. I know Buffalo wants a pass-catching running back. That's why they drafted James Cook in the second round. They want that role. So Nyheim Hines, I know he's under contract, I think, for 2 more years after this, too. So this is probably bad for Cook because he eliminates that role. But Buffalo's going to throw the ball a lot, and I think Hines is going to be very involved. If anything, it hurts Singletary.
Yeah, I could see it. I don't know. I guess my concern is just that Josh Allen isn't much of a dump off kind of guy, right? So
It's true.
how involved will Hines truly be? But maybe it improves his touchdown potential. I don't know. I might have to start him this week, so I don't know if that's good or bad. Probably bad with the luck that I've had this year.
Oh,
And
if Connor doesn't play, you mean?
yeah, he's game time
Right.
decision, and it probably
Should
isn't
probably
more.
start him over AJ Dillon, but
Oh God, my team is just. Winter put a hex on me. I swear to God, the guy put a goddamn bullseye on my back, and my team has looked horrible ever since. Well, thanks, Winter. Thanks a lot. Do you think
Yes.
Zach Moss in?
Thank you, Winter. Thank you.
Do you think Zach Moss in Indy, like, is he gonna get to play with Jonathan Taylor?
There's too many cooks in that kitchen. Like even Deion Jackson looked good without Jonathan Taylor there. I think Jackson's going to be the number one guy there, no matter what. Without Taylor, I thought there's another guy there too.
Philip Lindsay,
is that who it is? Yeah,
I think it is.
So I put that Moss is probably behind him too, and we haven't even seen Lindsay this year.
Like, I think we did at one point. I think Bryce started him. I think
really Winter started him. I think it was Winter.
Oh,
when Taylor went out, he picked him up. I believe. I think he texted me about it because I was asking him something. I think
that sounds right.
And then he did nothing because Deion Jackson got all the touches.
It's like, where did Deion Jackson get? It's crazy how in football what like blows my mind is so many players sneak into the league and it's like, where the hell did you come from? You know, like,
there's just so many colleges.
Yeah, but like, there's so many big names that make the NFL that they don't even like. James Cook, for instance, might not even have a chance. But then some random guy, I don't know. It's bizarre. Chase Edmonds went to the Broncos, as we discussed. That's just like a salary dump.
Which could be good for him, but again, Broncos, who knows what they're doing at running back? Is it Chase Edmonds now? Melvin Gordon? Mike Boone, I think he's hurt though. Who's the other guy? There's one more guy there.
The vet. They signed him. Latavius Murray?
Yes, Latavius Murray. I think all of those players are rostered in our league. So, like, again, too many players doing the same role. And Edmonds has looked terrible this year. So I don't really see it being much of an impact to that team.
Yeah. Chase Claypool to the Bears. That has
this
potential.
One's bigger. This is bigger, yeah. Because Claypool's probably a better receiver than Darnell Mooney. Justin Fields has looked much better the last, 3 weeks now? He's been pretty good.
Yeah,
whether it's on the ground or in the air, but at least he's doing the things that he's supposed to be doing. And if anything, Claypool's going to make Mooney better because there's another receiver there now who's got some talent. Like Claypool's biggest problem is he has stupid mistakes. We all remember that play with like a minute left and he's dancing on the field when they're trying to run to the line.
Oh yeah,
from a couple years ago. Like that's going to haunt him for his career. So like,
that might be part of
we've
why
seen
they
Chase be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
His first year, he was unbelievable with Big Ben.
Yeah. He's our Canadian boy, so
he is.
Like, do you think he has potential to be the number one wide receiver in that offense? Not that
he has the potential, because I don't think Darnell Mooney's anything to be that impressed by. Like, I think he's good.
Yeah,
but I think Chase Claypool's good too. So I think they both have a chance to solidify the number one position there.
Okay. Which, who knows how valuable that really is in the Bears offense. Exactly. It could be something.
I would say he'd be better, I think, the rest of the year than he would have been if he stayed in Pittsburgh. Because
that makes sense.
Their quarterback situation's a mess. Plus, they have a whole bunch of other really talented receivers who aren't doing much as well.
Yeah, so that's a win. Kadarius Toney went to the Chiefs. I saw you picked him up because he's your boy.
As a Giants fan, I know it sucks to lose Toney, but obviously the new management doesn't like him. He wasn't their guy. They weren't playing him. Like, the minute he was traded, he tweeted that he was healthy, and he's been healthy, even though he's been listed on the injury report.
Weird, yeah.
So clearly they want him to play.
The whole relationship with the Giants is just weird.
Yeah, and Kadarius Toney is discount Tyreek Hill coming out of college. People thought he had the same similar skill sets in open field. Obviously, they're not the same. Like, Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in football this year. He's number one or number two behind Diggs, but there's something there. If him and Mahomes can get some sort of repertoire, I think I picked him up because I think he has big play potential And I think Andy Reid's going to scheme for him to get the ball in situations where he can succeed.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw you're starting him. That's huge. Who knows if...
Well, that's not because I want to, really.
Yeah, it's a little bit.
It's bipocalypse.
Yeah, there's a lot, which we'll touch on that a little bit, how a lot of teams are hurting this week. I guess the last trade, this one yet again impacts me a little bit. James Robinson to the Jets. Do you think that kind of buys him a new life? Like, is he going to get a little bit more of an opportunity?
I did actually try to trade for him from you today. Like the other day, I sent you a random off because I thought you needed tight end and you're maybe down on Robinson. I actually don't think he'll be the same player he ever was, because like Breece Hall succeeded in that role, but he's not nowhere near Breece Hall. And like Michael Carter is going to probably get at least 50% of the carries now. I think they probably should have went for a different running back if they were trying to get one, like maybe like a Kareem Hunt.
Yeah, I heard that one. That would have made a lot of sense.
I can't believe Kareem Hunt didn't get moved in general. His contract's up and the Browns aren't doing great.
Yeah, I'm thinking the asking price was too high, maybe.
I guess, but like at some point you just got to move the guy. Like, let him play somewhere.
Yeah, he's kind of wasting away.
Yeah.
Okay, well let's move on to some of the trades we had in our fantasy league in the more important world. One of the first ones of the past couple. Well, actually, no, this is just this past week. Amari Cooper was traded to Andrew, and he gave up Raheem Mostert to Riley, which Riley was quite busy with trades. Mm-hmm. What do you think of that trade? I mean, my initial thought is that it's a win for Andrew. I think Amari Cooper has a lot of upside, as he's showcased,
especially at home.
When for whatever reason, when he plays in Cleveland, he's really good.
Big takeaway from that is Amari Cooper. First of all, I think Andrew Cannell won this trade. I believe Cooper is very talented. Mostert is going to be in a crowded backfield now because they went out and got Jeff Wilson. Those two have played in the same backfield before under Mike McDaniels, which I think why they went and got Jeff Wilson. But
it's funny how coaches always love familiar players.
Yeah, they know what they can do.
Yeah.
But I think long-term, long-term this season, playoff time, Amari Cooper is going to have Deshaun Watson back as his quarterback. And we know that guy likes to sling it, whether it's footballs or nothing. Never mind. But I think long-term, this could be a great move for the playoff time.
Yeah.
And Mostert's just, I think, he'll be involved. He'll have some good weeks, but he's also very frequently injured.
That would be the biggest fear I would have.
Yes.
Is obviously injury with Raheem Mostert, and then also what role will Jeff Wilson have?
Yeah.
Like, will he impact it? So,
but they're both super injury prone, so they could both be hurt.
Yeah, true. Yeah, good point.
And then we're back to Myles Gaskin territory.
So how about this? Another Riley trade. Riley traded away Tyler Higbee and Corey Davis to me, and I gave up David Njoku and Robert Woods. It's not a very sexy trade. At least the wide receivers are not sexy. That's for sure. What do you think of that
big
trade?
Names if you think a couple years ago.
True.
But yeah, it's more of you needed a tight end to start for this week, and now you got your tight end potentially for the rest of the year. I know that's been a position you've been kind of trying to figure out the whole season. Njoku was good when you had him, but he's been hurt.
Mm-hmm.
And I like Corey Davis with Zach Wilson, even though he's also not playing this week. And my biggest takeaway is Robert Woods is essentially useless if Malik Willis is playing quarterback because he doesn't throw the ball.
Wow, so you're just hating Riley's trades.
But Ryan Tannehill's probably going to be back next week, and then Robert Woods will be a decent option. I know he hasn't been great this year, but they got to throw to someone, and Burks is out. Yeah.
He'll turn it on for Riley.
It's possible.
He's saving it. He's been waiting for the trade. He didn't want to play for
And again, Njoku's going to not be out long term. He'll be back soon.
Yeah.
And same thing. Playoff time, he'll have Deshaun as well. So
and he's looked unreal this year. So it could.
I think it's pretty even. I don't think either of you really won that trade. I think you both needed that trade though. Yeah,
I think it's kind of like a win in the moment for both of us.
Exactly.
I guess. I don't know. If Corey Davis can be at least useful for me, then I think I win the trade. Maybe. I don't know. It could go either way. I wasn't super stoked about any player in this trade, to be completely honest. And I just need to do something. So thanks, Riley, for sending that over and giving me a tight end. The last trade we had was Bryce and Winter. This is actually a decent, at least bigger name kind of trade. Winter gave up Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and Bryce gave up Ezekiel Elliott.
This is a weird one. Clyde's been, he started the year good. He's gotten the same amount of opportunities essentially every week, but he's not doing much with it now. I know Bryce was just desperate to get a player to start this week, and he still doesn't even have a complete lineup as we speak. He's missing a flex because he has no one to play. But Ezekiel Elliott's been bad. He's out. Tony Pollard's look great.
Check out Zeke's game log. It's actually a little bit surprising.
Better than I thought.
So he was hurt last week against Chicago.
Yeah.
And obviously he's on a bye this week.
And how Tony Pollard
against Detroit, he had 2 touchdowns. And then against Philly, he had a touchdown and 81 yards rushing. Like, he's actually had a little bit of use. I don't know.
Maybe.
Winter asked me what I thought about this trade, and I wasn't really stoked for either of these players. But looking at it that way, I think Zeke might be the more valuable.
I think Zeke has the highest ceiling because Clyde's not. I think, but Pacheco's been more involved the last couple of weeks, I believe.
Yeah, he's sneaking
he's
in there.
taking over, and Jerry Jones has been very open about how Zeke's still his guy, even no matter what. It doesn't matter what Pollard does.
Yeah.
So could be good.
So Winter might have done something sneaky.
There's also a necessity for Bryce.
True. Yeah, you said he was offering you trades. Like, there was a lot going on. So
there
were probably a lot more
punted this week. That's all I'm going to say.
I think there were a lot of almost trades this week. I think so,
yeah, because everyone needs players right now.
Mm-hmm. So now let's take a little looky-do at the standings, which our division is nuts. Like,
tight.
It's absolutely nuts. We've got Perry sitting at the top at 5-3. You're 4-4. I'm 4-4. Winter's 4-4. Riley's 4-4. DeAndre the Giant's 4-4. And then Shiitake Spew sitting where he usually belongs at 3-5.
Hey, that's not bad though.
No,
in our division, there's no one out of it.
No, he's right there.
There's someone out of it in the other division.
Yeah, so in the other division, the
AFC, bad luck.
It has been a lot of bad luck. Finkel's Einhorn is still sitting at the top at 7-1. We got Gavin at 5-3, Andrew at 5-3, Shane at 5-3. That's a cool little pocket right there.
Mm-hmm.
Bryce is 3-5, Wally World 2-6, and Finney at the bottom 1-7. And I'm pretty sure he's already told me he understands that he's looking for keepers. So
yep, it's fair.
Which, on that note, I need to announce that if my season continues to kind of fall apart on me here, I'm on a 2-game losing streak, Justin Jefferson might be available for trade. Just saying. That could be the big blockbuster of the year, potentially, if it happens.
Speaking as another GM, I'm assuming you'll want a high-end, keepable player back. That's what you're going to be looking for because you cannot keep Jefferson. The ideal player is what you would have wanted. Would have been like a Breece Hall type.
100%.
Obviously, he's injured, and that doesn't make sense to trade for that guy because he's on the last place team. He's never going to give him up because his season's over.
Yeah,
but
it'll be hard to find the right fit because it's someone who
the perfect player.
Someone who makes the trade doesn't want to give up someone that would hurt their their chances this year because they'd be trading for him to win this year.
It would have to be someone who's going all in for the playoffs, like Brucey maybe.
Yeah, I've been looking at teams.
I don't know.
I would say that, I'd say Way She Goes might have a guy that I would do it for. I'll just throw that out there. Yeah. I'll throw that out there.
Are we going to talk about him later?
Maybe. Okay, we're going to move on. We're going to move on to just a couple injuries. I know injuries aren't really that exciting, but a couple things I just want to touch on. Keenan Allen, Mike Williams are both hurt. The Chargers
and
offense.
You said DeAndre Carter's sick now, too?
He has an illness.
I believe Josh Palmer's questionable. I think he's cleared. He's been practicing. He cleared concussion protocol, but the coach still said he might not play this week. So everyone's not really sure what's happening. You
know what's funny? You know who I think is like the 6th string wide receiver on that team?
Who?
He is. He's on the Fantasy Footballers podcast.
Oh, Jason Moore.
Yeah.
Right. I remember that. Yeah. Hilarious.
Maybe I should pick him up. Maybe it's meant to be. But yeah, that offense is just. It's been a very disappointing year for that offense as a whole. But man,
Yeah, I'm very excited for Gerald Everett to get 20 points as my second tight end I'm starting this week.
He might be the only guy catching balls, so that's
true.
huge. Another big one is Cordero Patterson. He's returning. It feels like he's been out forever. So Wally World will need to make a move there to get him back into his lineup.
Arthur Smith's just licking his lips. So excited to carry the ball.
He's like
50 times.
They passed it too much last week, right? They probably threw 15
It was like 22
times.
attempts. Way too many.
Now I got my guy. Yeah.
You see how good Kyle Pitts looks? He scored 18 points. Yeah, never again. Getting 2 catches, 3 yards, 90% snaps blocking.
Oh man! So Tyler Algier and Caleb Huntley, whatever his name is.
Caleb. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong after that.
They both obviously get a bit of a bump down. I feel like Tyler Algier though should see more work. That guy looks good. He looks good.
Yeah, I think he'll be the number 2 for sure. I feel like this is more of a hit to Huntley with him back.
Yeah, and I think the biggest one is just Jonathan Taylor is out, like officially.
Mm-hmm.
Which that pisses me off because I have Nyheim Hines.
Is that potentially the player that it would take, or?
We're not gonna. Don't worry about that. We're gonna move on from that. But I have Nyheim Hines. This would be a great week to start him if he was on the Indianapolis. But no, they had to trade him away to Buffalo, where he's gonna. Like this year is just driving me insane. I don't like fantasy football. Anyways, that's huge. Like Winter's been just. He's done very well considering that he's been battling without a Jonathan Taylor for most of the year. Kind of
number 1 player coming into the year. Everyone thought he was a lock at 101. He had a great week 1. And
it's been crazy how many offenses coming into the year were supposed to be good have not been, or at least ones that were used to being good. Like
what
Green Bay's
disaster really Matt Ryan ended up to that team.
Oh man! But the whole
Aaron
I don't know,
Rodgers. Oh man,
the line doesn't look good, which doesn't make sense.
No, some weird's going on there.
The Buccaneers have been a mess. Like there's so many teams that just
the weirdest part is looking at like Brady's. If you pull up his stats, like every week. His completion rate's pretty good. A lot of yards. And they just can't finish drives.
Is that what it is?
That's fault. Yeah. Look, if you pull up Brady stats, if you can.
How dare you blame Leonard Fournette?
Well.
Don't. I'm trading him to Shane. Don't talk him down.
But yeah, Tom Brady, last week, 325 yards. 44 attempts, 26 completions. The week before, 290, 250, 350, 385, 271. He's had over 40 completions in his last 6 games. Over 40 attempts in his last 6 games. And he has like 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
he's not turning the ball over. They can't finish drives right now.
Oh my God, sorry. I just looked at my phone. Listen to this. The Jets added James Robinson to the injury report, and that's questionable. What is happening?
He was on your bench anyways.
I know, but I might have had to use... whatever. It's okay. But yes, the Bucs offense, I guess, they're not finishing drives, but...
That's what it looks like to me.
They just don't look good, though, at all.
No. They have really bad offensive line problems, too. They've had a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the biggest problem, but they don't look the same.
Anyways, we're going to move on to the waiver wire. So it's been over the last 2 weeks, I guess.
Yeah. Kyle Pitts broke me last week before he had a big week.
Wait, what?
If you look at the waiver wire, I have went a little tight end happy.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Because of Kyle Pitts.
You were looking
because he's been so bad. So I picked up. Now I have 3 tight ends in my roster. It's a really bold strategy I've never tried before.
Bold strategy, Cotton. Yeah. So we'll start there. So Dawson Knox, you paid $22
so much money.
for. You went absolutely insane. That's like
the problem is I
actually
I did that because I really thought you were going to be high on him, and I just didn't want you to have a tight end. It was kind of.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, the night before I remember being like, I feel like Charlie's going to bid a lot. definitely over 11. Then you know how your brain goes, so 11, you probably go like 14, maybe 15. And then I got up to 22 all of a sudden for no reason.
So you thought I go 21. You thought I go 21. Somehow you moved all the way up there. Wow, I
I
wasn't
got
that
all the way up
desperate.
there. And then you were not desperate at all.
It's a tight end. I don't know. I can find any crappy tight end to throw in there and get me 3 points. Whatever.
That's true.
But yeah, so you went
nuts. To be fair, if you had Dawson Knox, I think you would have won last week. Not that that matters.
Whoa! Are you serious?
I believe so.
He put up 8 points? No. It would have given me like a 3-point difference.
How many points did Irv Smith score?
Like 5.
Yeah, and Dawson Knox scored.
No, you're wrong, man. You're wrong.
Dawson Knox had 8 points last week. Exactly 8.
That's what I said, yeah. So he had 8. Irv Smith had like 5. That's a 3-point difference. I lost by like 5, so.
Well, I thought you lost by 3. Okay, sorry.
No,
Math's really hard.
You're trying to make, for some reason, you want this to be the reason why I died. But anyways, there were a lot of teams in on him, so maybe that makes you feel a little better.
A little bit, yeah.
You went a little
also,
crazy.
Any of those teams who wanted him can have him very cheap. Because I have a lot of tight ends now, and I don't want 3 tight ends. So hey, I'm probably going to drop him in the coming future, unless I get an offer. So if you want him, you can have very cheap.
So there are quite a few tight ends snagged. I guess with these buys, everyone has to fill in their tight end spot.
Yeah.
Gavin obviously paid $15 for Isaiah Likely, which that's a big handcuff for him because he has my God, why am I blanking? He has Mark Andrews, yeah.
But I think either way, like even if Andrews is healthy, I think you could probably play Likely in a pinch because he's going to be.
He looked really good.
Yeah, Mark Andrews isn't gonna, even if he plays, he's not 100%. And now Bateman's out for the year.
True. So they might go to like a 2 tight end set kind of offense.
Yeah, they might.
Another big pickup this is for this week. Kenyon Drake, $15 to Perry. Magic School Bus was the second one in there at $11, and then a couple other bids were also in there. What do you think of that? I don't know what to think of Kenyon Drake in the Baltimore Ravens running game. I don't know what's going on there. It seems like every week
people keep getting hurt there every time they play. So I guess he's going to be involved because J.K. Dobbins is out. Gus Edwards, I think, is out.
The Gus Bus, yeah. He exited the injury or last game with a hamstring injury. Doesn't seem serious, but yeah. So Kenyon Drake is probably going to be leading the backfield there, I guess. But
yep, should be
weird. It's weird. Oh my God, I didn't even notice this. So Andrew paid $37 for Jeff Wilson Jr.
I know. And you all shamed me when I paid $22 for him earlier in the year.
So wait a minute. So he traded away
Mostert. And then picked up Jeff Wilson for $37.
That is wild.
I know he woke up the next morning looking at this and like, damn, second offer is only $8. I know because I've done that. You know?
But I guess, did he think that he's stealing the job from Mostert?
I guess, but I don't think that's the case. I feel like even when they both played in San Fran, Mostert was still the first guy up.
I guess we'll see.
To be fair, Jeff Wilson has looked good when he played.
Correct. Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe it's good.
Like San Fran would never trade him if it wasn't that they were getting like arguably the best running back in the league. So
I feel like maybe he needed a running back pretty bad. Oh, he needed. He's starting Rachaad White this week and Jeff Wilson.
Oh, so he is praying that Jeff
Damian Harris is probably not going to play. Gus Edwards, they're both questionable.
Yeah, of course.
I guess if Gus Edwards plays, though, kind of makes the Kenyon Drake pickup less important.
Yeah. Joshua Palmer, he was picked up by Finney for $21. Gavin was in on him at 7. Bryce at 6. That's a nice pickup, and it looks like I don't see any injury designation.
I know that was removed, but he's still listed. Like his coach still said he might not play this week.
Weird. So he's off.
Something weird's going on there.
Maybe they're trying to go like they really want to give Jason Moore the chance that he deserves.
Maybe, I don't know, or they're just worried because of what happened to Tua earlier in the year, how he got concussed right away again. Maybe he might just play though too. Like I don't think anything's official.
I think he has to start him just based on the fact he doesn't have the injury status. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Weird. Gavin picked up Justin Fields for $21.
You know what? I dropped both of those players last week, and they went for a lot of fab.
They did.
That's kind of wild. No one wanted them when I was offering them to them, but
But now for
Well,
Fab.
to be fair, I didn't actually think Jeff Wilson would be traded. That's why I dropped him.
Mm.
And then
Yeah, you thought he lost all his value, right?
Yeah, it changed after. So I have no regrets either way.
Anyways, those are kind of the big additions. That's pretty. Yeah, I don't like that Gavin's the one that picked up freaking Justin Fields, because now he's going to be a top 5 quarterback the rest of the way, just because Gavin has him.
And the reasoning behind why I dropped Joshua Palmer, I thought he'd be good the whole year, but the only reason I dropped him because of Marquise Brown. I think playoff time might be a valuable asset for me as a wide receiver 3 when he's off of injury reserve.
That's fair.
I thought there was just a chance. So, hey, you got to play the upside. That's football, right? That's fantasy football.
That's true. That is true. Okay, let's quickly dive into just some of the top players at each position for the year.
Mm-hmm.
What, we're 8 weeks in? Or we've completed 8 weeks? This is week 9, right?
8 weeks in one game.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind when we're looking at these.
Some guys are going to look a little bit better than they should be. Okay. So let's take a peek at the quarterbacks, which Jalen Hurts gets a bump because he played on Thursday. So
He'll probably still be top 5 at the end of the week either way.
He should probably, still be. So I'd say the biggest changes, like we got Josh Allen at the top, which is normal. He's been an absolute stud. Jalen Hurts, number 2 right now, but that's with the Thursday game. Joe Burrow has snuck up into the top 3.
Who's that guy?
Yeah, he's been
slinging that ball. I don't know. I think Zach Taylor just decided, you know what? We're not going to run the ball 60% of the time. Let's just let Joe Burrow do what he did at the end of last year and just let him sling the ball and see how it goes. And it's been going very well.
Yeah,
for Joe Burrow. I guess the Bengals still lost last week, but that was a weird game.
It was. The Browns really came out to play. They looked really good. The defense looked really good. But yeah, he had New Orleans. He put up 32.5 points. He had 3 touchdowns. And then Atlanta, he had 39.24 points and he had 3 touchdowns.
And now, one thing I heard... Carolina this week.
I heard on the Fantasy Footballers, and being a Bengals fan, like I do agree with this. When they face a team that does have a good pass rush, it's not that Burrow is bad against blitzing and all that, but the line is really not playing as well as they should.
No, they went out and they got La'el Collins. Like they went out and they spent money on that offensive line, and it should be a lot better.
Yeah,
Collins was a beast for the Cowboys,
right? Like he's supposed to be an absolute stud. So I don't know what's going on there, but when they play against a better pass rush, don't expect Joe Burrow to go absolutely crazy.
They are playing Carolina this week. I know they don't have a crazy pass rush, but Brian Burns might be one of the best pass rushes in football.
It's a great name, by the way. Brian Burns.
A great name. He's an electric player.
I like that. Anyways, but yeah, Joe Burrow is probably the biggest. I think he was like 7th maybe or something.
He started the year a little slower.
So yeah, he had 4 interceptions that first game, and then I think
he still had 20-something points that game. It was so weird.
Yeah, he still got it done. But yeah, he's only thrown 2 interceptions since that 4 interception game. So he is a superstar, and I love watching him every week. So now we also got Lamar Jackson at 4, and Patty Mahomes at 5, and now Kyler Murray's kind of sneaking his way back into the conversation. At
Geno slowed down a little.
Yeah, Geno's looking a little more human.
Whoa. Marcus Mariota is the number 8 QB on the year.
Isn't that weird?
What? Yeah. He throws the ball like 12 times a game.
He runs it, I guess, a fair bit.
That one surprised me. That is surprising.
And he's on the waiver wire. Someone should pick him up.
He's actually not able to be picked up till November 9th.
Okay. Next week. Running backs. So we've got, actually, this is interesting. Nick Chubb is the number 1. Now, that's also because the Browns played on Thursday. No, what am I saying?
No, they did not play this week. They're on a bye.
He's a true number 1.
Yep.
Man, what an interesting player. Like, would you consider trading for him?
I think I would, yeah. If the right offer, I would definitely trade for Nick Chubb. So, I'm not going to elaborate any more than that.
Eckler's number 2, which
is actually surprising because he started very bad. I think he
did
10 points in the first 3 weeks total or something. It felt like, at least. It's probably more than that, but you know how it feels that they're worse than they really are. But the last,
Yeah.
I think 3 weeks or 4 weeks, he's been dominant.
Well, yeah, it looks like the first 3 weeks he had just about 30 points, and then
Which
in
is
the
actually
last
better than
4
I thought.
weeks,
Wow.
4 weeks he's actually eclipsed 30 points in each week except for one where he had 19.3. So he's been an absolute stud.
Yeah, he's like 110 points in the last 4 weeks. That's very good.
And he is playing this week. I remember reading he had a abdominal issue.
Yeah, he said he's playing, yeah.
Man, I had an abdominal issue this past week. I'll tell you what. Oh my. Christian McCaffrey's number 3, and it feels like he is only going to fly up this board because he looks like a perfect fit with the 49ers.
Yeah, he had the Gordie Howe hat trick of running backs last week. I don't know what you call when you get a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown. I don't know. Who does that? Damian Tomlinson Spetzel, maybe? Because he's like the only guy. I think he was the last guy to do that.
Man, he must be so happy being on a good team. Has he ever were the Panthers ever good?
There was a couple. I think they had an okay year. 1 year
back when they had oh my god, I shouldn't even have brought this up. But what quarterback was that? Cam Newton. Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton. They were a good pair for quite a while there. But this 49ers offense looks insane. And I think CMC's going to post like 30 plus every week now.
The only real surprise I think here is Josh Jacobs to me, who I thought was done.
Oh, yeah.
On this list, I mean, like of the top 10.
Yes.
I didn't think I wanted to avoid him at all costs at the draft. And I wish I didn't.
I didn't want anything to do with him. Yeah, he's been pretty much the only good player on that offense because even Devontae Adams has not been.
The last few weeks, Adams has been bad, yeah. Ever since he pushed that guy.
Oh, I just didn't say that. He's living with a lot of guilt or something. I don't know. I just noticed, though, that the 49ers, they play Sunday night. Like, they have a bye this week. But the next week, they play Sunday night. And then they play Monday night the week after that. So, like, two primetime kind of games. That's huge, man. the CMC show. It's going to be fun. Saquon's number 4, by the way. Yep. That's kind of nice. And then Derrick Henry, number 5, which...
Yep. As expected. No surprises.
Yeah. Just need it to snow in Vermont, and you're good to go. I guess the other big surprise, and I hate to say, is Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah,
he's right behind Josh Jacobs.
I'm not completely surprised because he's had flashes in the past, and now the other guy that has been hurt, Damian Harris. Oh my god, I couldn't remember his name. He's been hurt for a couple weeks. He's still battling injury. So when Ramondre Stevenson has the entire plate, he feasts.
Yes.
He's been incredible.
I don't know. I think, yeah, you're right. We all knew what he's capable of, but we did not think Damian Harris would either be hurt this long or I don't know. Damian Harris is such a good running back that I never thought Stevenson would have this much of a role, but it's
one of the guys I thought potentially could have been moved was Damian Harris as well, because he's also on an expiring contract, I believe, which is why people are high on Stevenson.
I bet you there's a lot of potential then because of injury that teams are probably wary to do it.
Yep.
Wouldn't you say the other surprise?
I'm actually surprised that the Rams didn't trade Cam Akers. Like, you're obviously not going to play him.
Yeah, good point.
And he actually tweeted out, Cam Akers, I miss football.
Yeah. So he's just going to be collecting dust on their bench?
I don't. Apparently he was taken off the injured reserve this week, and I don't know what that means. Is he going to play now?
Imagine he ends up just killing it.
And just leads Finney's team to a 3-.
We are going to touch on a Rams running back later during the worryometer segment. So maybe they need a good running back. You know what's another surprise up here? Would it not surprise you that Leonard Fournette has more points than Aaron Jones? Is that not shocking?
A little bit.
What the hell?
But I think rest of the year, Aaron Jones is going to put Fournette in his rearview mirror.
How dare you? No.
I believe A.J. Dillon's done in that offense.
Whoa. Settle down. You just bashed 2 of my running backs in one statement.
How do you feel about A.J. Dillon and Leonard Fournette?
I feel great. Like, I would only trade them to Shane if he had a really good deal. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah, so, A.J. Dillon definitely RB5 the rest of the year. He's going to be a beast.
He looked a little bit better last week. A little bit.
He did, but he doesn't look
So
as good as he did last year.
he's turning
Last
a
year, he
corner.
looked good.
Just you wait. I'm not giving up. Because I can't give up on him. I'm
I
not
hope
giving
he
up on
doesn't
AJ
turn a
Dillon.
corner because Aaron Jones looked really good last week.
He's looked great, I think, all year. That's why
I think he had one game
saying,
where he looked bad, but
pretty much
been a beast.
I guess that's just the Green Bay offense has really been hampering both of our guys, I think.
Yeah,
Although
definitely.
they are also a reason why the offense isn't being, AJ Dillon has. Anyways, on to wide receivers. We've got Stephon Diggs sitting at the top, which is, I think, not shocking, but I'm just surprised he's number 1. Tyreek Hill at number 2. Cooper Kupp slid down to 3, which I find a little bit surprising. Usually he's way... Oh, they had a bye week.
They had a bye, yeah.
Not everyone here has had a bye, so... Because he's still mashing every... Oh, my God.
I'm not actually surprised by this list, or at least the top 8, 9. The first surprise for me is probably like Tyler Boyd or Brandon Ayuk.
I'd say Amari Cooper up here is shocking.
Maybe, but if you look at his stats from the Cowboys, he was really good. And he's the clear wide receiver 1 in Cleveland now. I guess we didn't think he'd be this good with Brissett, but...
Whoa, Tyler Boyd is that high?
Yeah, he's been really good.
What is happening? This is
nuts.
I'm
saying. He's the biggest surprise to me on there, and then Ayuk.
Yeah,
because I'd say was bad until like 3 weeks ago.
The other crazy thing, which we were discussing earlier, is just Jalen Waddle's 5, and not that far behind Tyreek Hill, which, as we've all witnessed, makes sense. But I don't think that's ever happened. I don't think any team has ever had 2 top 5 wide receivers.
They both have over 120 points.
I don't even know how is that even physically possible. It's crazy.
Tua just throws for 400 yards a game. And they don't have a running game, I guess.
Yeah.
Not much of one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's just crazy.
And I think it's just because Tyreek and Waddle just burn corners. Like they're both so fast.
Mm-hmm.
Really fun team to watch.
Extremely fun. Anyways, that's our wide receivers, which I feel like it's a down year though. I don't know.
It seems like the scoring's just down in the whole league.
I think you're right. Which is extra weird in our league because we don't have defenses or kickers. So I bet you...
I love that, though.
I love it, too. But I bet you for, like, David and Liz, they're in another league, I think, that has normal rosters. And they're thinking, like, how are we only scoring this many points, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
But eye-opening. So on to tight ends. Travis Kelce leading the way, as always. It looked like Mark Andrews was trending to be the number 1 guy all year, but then he's been hurt.
Yep.
And that's killed him because he only had
0.4 and 4 touchdown game really helped.
That's true. Yeah. His 30 point. That's amazing. He only had 30 points in a week that he had 4 touchdowns.
Yeah, he had like 5 catches or something for 20 yards.
I bet the over receiving yards for him that day. Wow. So I was very disappointed.
Lost that then, didn't you? Yeah.
I did, yes.
Have you actually... did you know that him and his brother actually has a podcast?
Yeah, I've heard it's really good.
It's been pretty... Yeah, I've listened to a few clips of it from on YouTube, shorts. They pop up all the time. Some of it's really amusing. And I think Peyton Manning is going to be on it soon.
Oh, yeah? Which
is very interesting.
Yeah, Peyton Manning's a great character, so I could see him being a good time on that podcast.
Yeah.
Dallas Goedert is 3rd, which is pretty
surprising,
cool. Yeah. Although they did play on Thursday,
right?
Which not everyone has played this week. He had 20 points this past week too. So
so that's big.
Mm-hmm. So he jumped up. He jumped way up. Taysom Hill is number 3, and like I've said, I've been telling you, he needs to join the list of
definitely
of quarterbacks who
are not quarterbacks. Yeah, you're right. No, you're right.
I guess I'm not wrong. But he is in the top 3 conversation for tight ends. It needs to be the top tier is Kelce, Andrews, and Taysom Hill. We're all going to be saying that next year.
Absolutely not.
I think so. Zach Ertz doing his boring thing and is sitting there.
He just catches a lot of passes.
And then TJ Hawkinson at 5 or 6 actually. Wow, can't do math. Can't do math. Can't even count. That's not even math. That's just counting down a list. Oh my God. And look at that. The number 7 guy, Tyler Conklin. He's available.
Yep. Tight end's been a really weird position.
It's just gross. It's just gross. It's not very fun, especially if you get someone like Kyle Pitts, right?
Ugh. Look how low he is on this list.
Oh man, my throat is getting worse as we go here.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it's a good time. All right, let's move on to the worryometer. The number one worrying player, I think, and it's quite obvious, is Jonathan Taylor.
Yes.
This guy has been. The year started okay. First game, 31 attempts, 161 rushing yards, 1 touchdown. It's like all right, classic Jonathan Taylor year. He's gonna be the number one running back in the league. And since that game, it's been downhill, which is
terrible.
Nuts. 6.8 points the following week, 10.6, 2.8, 0, 0, 12, 5.6. So he has been a waste of a first-round pick for Matthew Winter.
I don't know if I was Matt Winter, I'd probably trade him because he got a big name.
Right?
And you could probably get a haul for him.
Do you think it's at that point where he needs to kind of cut bait?
Well, I'm not convinced he's not going to be battling injury all year. In and out of the lineup, he'll probably play some weeks and leave games early, which is the worst thing you want in fantasy football. Is when a guy plays and leaves in the first quarter.
I remember this being a concern about him because he played so much in college.
Okay.
That he had already his body had already taken so much abuse that in the NFL, it's like how long will he last before he just completely wears down? I wonder if he's already at that point. Like imagine last season was really just the peak of Jonathan Taylor. Holy.
And he hadn't even missed a practice in his career until this year.
Yeah.
And he's just missing time all the time now.
It's definitely a bad vibe in Indy this year, and maybe it's just killing everyone on that team.
Hopefully it's a one-time thing, but
I guess the big question here with Jonathan Taylor is if you're Matthew Winter, like obviously maybe you want to consider trading him. Mm-hmm. Where would you be as a keeper? Like, sure, this season's a lost season, but do you think next season's a lost season as well? Like, do you think maybe he's not what we thought he was?
Like, it's hard because he's going to be a first-round keeper.
Exactly.
So it really depends on who won't be able to be kept this year and who's available. And if we're adding more teams again, right? Because you don't want to get shafted. Like,
if we're adding more teams. That's only if you have a top pick. All right?
Yeah, right. I'm not ruling it out yet. I'm only 4-4. I'm lucky that our whole league's, half of our league's 4-4, so.
It's crazy.
But, I don't know. Something weird's going on with Jonathan Taylor. Maybe they just upgrade the offensive line. They get a top quarterback and everything changes. But he already kept him once, right? So Correct. He only has one more time. It's going to be a tough call for him in the offseason if there continues the rest of the year of him being out in and out of the lineup. Especially because he has other players he might want to keep, like Damian Pierce.
I think I agree with you in that he should consider moving him because of his name.
You can get a lot for people because of their name.
Exactly.
And the potential upside.
So we're both on the same page there. Okay, on to the next guy. A little less exciting. Although, coming into the year, and especially after the first game.
Especially after the draft. We watched highlights of this guy.
Yes, we did for hours on end. Gabe Davis. Now,
yes,
this season, it's slowly not being what everyone hoped for from this guy. Isaiah McKenzie at one point seemed to have a larger role in the offense than he did.
Yep. I think McKenzie's a great player. He's the slot receiver, and he's involved every week. And I think Stephon Diggs has taken more of the pie than I even thought. I thought Gabe Davis was unbelievable in the NFL playoffs last year.
And it looked like a true breakout.
It looked like he piggyback off that, and he's just Josh Allen just still loves himself some Stephon Diggs, and he's
definitely shown moments, and it's lot of it's because he seems to be a boomer bust with his huge catches.
Yeah, I think that's all he seems to be at this moment, at least.
But yeah, overall, it's just kind of I don't know. So,
like if you look, he's had 2 receptions, 3 receptions, 3, 1, 3. Like that's not what you want.
No, you want a bit more. So I remember I feel like a lot of people were trying to trade for him early on too. And
I tried a bunch. I tried to get him and T. Higgins.
Steve would not give him up. So I'm wondering.
He wouldn't trade anyone because his team started good, and why tinker with something that's succeeding? And I get that.
Yeah. So I wonder if he questions whether he should have traded him, but he's 7-1, so it's working for him anyways. The other guy, this is a weird one.
It is a weird one.
Like no one ever really expects that much out of this guy, but he is supposed to be a wide receiver one type of player.
I think
Brandon
he's more
Cook.
of like he's just a consistent guy. He gets a lot of he's the clear number one receiver there, and he's supposed to get a lot of targets. We all expected Mills to be a little better this year, maybe take a step, but now things are going really weird in Houston. He didn't play Thursday. He wasn't hurt. He's just mad that they didn't trade him.
It says here it was a coach's decision, and it was not related to his minor wrist injury.
Which is weird because I think he signed a contract in the offseason extended. And
listen to this weird quote. He said, he's going to be in the building tomorrow, Smith said, matter-of-factly. I told you he'll be back in the building tomorrow. That's what he said to reporters, I guess. Like, he'll be in the building, but...
All right. Just taking notes or...
Like,
it's weird.
Feels like he hates him.
Yeah. But I remember when he signed that extension, he tweeted out, I believe, just happy to not be traded. Like, he wanted to stay. He was tired of he's been traded a lot in his career. I don't even remember what team he started with. Was it the Patriots or was it the Rams? Which team was first? I honestly don't remember.
Rams traded for him or signed him.
Was it Patriots first? Or was there someone before the Patriots?
I feel like he was. Oh my god!
Yeah, I feel like there's another team.
I gotta look into this.
So he's moved around a lot.
So he's actually started with the Saints.
Yes, that's it. Okay.
Saints, which he had a couple of really good seasons.
Really
Patriots.
Good. He's been good every year.
Patriots was only one season, and then Rams for 2.
Okay.
And now this would be his 3rd season with the Texans.
Yep.
Yeah, he's a great wide receiver. He's eclipsed 1,000 yards 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times.
Yep. I'm not ruling out there's a chance he could just get cut if he doesn't want to play there. Maybe he'll sign somewhere else. I think it's outside the not super realistic, but if he keeps sitting out games because he doesn't want to play there, maybe they cut ties with him eventually. So he's a tough player to own at the moment.
Yeah, he's confusing. Okay, the last guy that I think is a bit of a worry, it's just kind of like, what a waste, really, is Darrell Henderson. Just because there was that toss-up beginning of the year, right? It felt like Cam Akers was probably going to be the number 1 guy. Darrell Henderson would be number 2. Then Cam Akers didn't work out. So it's okay, it's Darrell Henderson's backfield.
Yep, and he looked good starting there, yeah.
Right, he looked good. And then he just hasn't really grabbed a hold of it for whatever reason. And now it's like some Kyren's. I don't even know what the guy's name is.
I think it's Kyren Williams or something like that.
Something like that, where it's like, who the hell are you? And
also, officially, Cordell Patterson has been activated off the IR officially as of minutes ago.
It's officially official. And okay.
Not related to football, but the Washington Capitals have claimed Albay Cabell.
Of course.
Which is, I'm actually okay with. He didn't look great.
No.
But we'll talk about that after this. Sorry.
That's okay.
It's because that's good for the Leafs, in my opinion.
I don't know.
They need a roster slot so they can sign a goalie.
I do not know
one of their goalies.
Can you believe that the Leafs are a favorite to win tonight?
Yeah.
Isn't that
ridiculous? I bet you they win.
So messed up.
I think they're going to win tonight, yes. Boston's been overachieving in my eyes. I know it's their last day. Brad Marchand came back before we thought he would, but I think the real Leafs are going to show up tonight.
Okay, I'll hold you to it.
Okay, no problem.
I don't have high.
I think it's going to be a shootout. Also, I think it's going to end up being 6-4. Samsonov's been good. Allmark's been incredible. They're both due for an off game.
Okay.
So I wouldn't be super surprised. And both offensive, obviously, we know can score.
All right, so let's get this great fantasy football podcast. Let's just quickly dive into last week. We're just going to look at 2 matchups. Kyle, why don't you start with yours? You want to touch on the match between me and Shane? What did you think of that nice little loss by me?
I know Joe Mixon is the reason you lost, I guess, in the end, because you were up a few points going into the Monday. So I know that kind of hurt a little bit to you, because Joe Mixon actually wasn't super involved. It's not like he scored 30 points. He had 9 points from to beat you. Yeah.
Yes, he did. Yes.
So that
So it
kind of
wasn't.
hurt you. So it's kind
Yeah.
of the Bengal player is the reason you lost. But your biggest downfall was having to start Robert Woods with Malik Willis and DK Metcalf playing when he was not. Everyone thought he would not play after he was injured the prior week.
Yeah, it felt like Marquise Goodwin was a lock to be useful, which at least he got me 5.3, but still.
It's not like Shane had a crazy week. None of his players were exceptional. They were all steady.
Yeah, Tyler Algier was him, and I remember it was late or at least mid-afternoon on Sunday when Algier had a receiving touchdown, and then Jacoby Myers had a touchdown minutes before that, and I just oh, this isn't going to be my day. I could just feel it after that. So
yeah, you just needed a little more from a few of your players, but it was very tight. And I like games that come down to Monday night.
Yes, that is fun. I went into it okay, maybe there's a hope Joe Mixon gets hurt or he just for whatever reason doesn't get you. He could have rushed for under 50 yards. That could have easily happened, but
didn't he?
He did, but he had 7 receptions.
Yeah.
So
that's literally why. If the Bengals were more in that game, you probably win. Because then they wouldn't throw as much. Oh my God,
you're right. They were just it's because of the pass rush. He was dumping it off to Mixon. That sucks.
Myles Garrett's a beast.
Yeah, for me, and this was my first week without Jamar Chase, so it was my first time trying to make a lineup without him. And
it's like you talked about before, though. He might just be back in week 11 after the bye, which would be very big for you.
It would save my season potentially.
Because then you technically only missed 2 games of him in your lineup because he would have been on a bye either way.
Correct.
So that's best case scenario.
I'm hoping and praying for that. I wanted to touch on Action Jackson beating the Toronto Flatliners 119.34 to 115.74.
I know you really, really wanted me to win.
I did, and you're in my division. That's what's so gross about it. But Gavin, I'm sorry. I'm rooting against you. You won last year. I feel like so much is working out for you with your running backs, and it makes me angry every single week. So anyways, I was rooting for you. It got a little bit sweaty there. There were moments where it looked like it was a guarantee. And then going into Monday, it was looking like a guarantee. And then Joe Burrow was not looking good. And things looked very almost doubtful. But he did enough to get you the win, which is thank goodness.
I told you, I literally went to bed after the first drive of the second half because Joe Burrow, I think, had minus 1 point at that point. And he looked terrible. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to lose. I went to bed. And then for some reason, Joe Burrow started slinging. He got 2 passing touchdowns, and I squeaked out a win.
Yeah, thank goodness. I would say what won you the week, obviously Jalen Waddle put up a huge week for you, but I think the fact that Kyle Pitts showed up is what kind of bought you the win. And then what lost the week for Gavin was his interesting pickup of Sam Ehlinger. I actually remember him playing for Texas. Great quarterback, really good, but he's still
I actually have some insight about that because Gavin and I were talking about that.
My God.
He put him in his starting lineup Saturday night, I believe.
Okay.
He was originally starting Derek Carr. I know he had Russell Wilson, but he was never going to start Russell Wilson. He was going to start Derek Carr originally. And if he would have started Derek Carr, I would have not even needed to care about Monday because Ehlinger actually scored, I think, 6 more points than Derek Carr scored last week.
Okay, so that's better than Derek Carr, but why did he pick
it was the better choice.
But why did he pick up Sam Ehlinger and not someone else?
I guess he was hoping for upside to pair with Pittman. I don't know that for sure, but I know his other option was Derek Carr. So I guess
I don't know.
I think there was the right choice.
I'm not looking at the waiver wire right now, but I'm sure there was some other quarterback out there that could put a baseline of 10, 15 points. I don't know.
Well, I feel like the quarterback he's starting this week was probably there. Did someone drop him?
Who, Justin Fields?
Yeah. Was he on someone else's team last week? He was dropped? I'm not sure.
I'm not positive of that. I just think that, did the Bears play on Thursday or something? I feel like
they might have. I can't remember.
I feel like I remember the Bears. It wasn't really an option. Anyways.
Okay.
Sam Ehlinger. Interesting choice, and I think that lost him the week, so bummer. Although I'm kind of happy for it. I'm happy for you.
What actually lost him the week was, I guess he expected DK Metcalf not to play, so he didn't even consider starting him.
True.
He was just on his bench.
Yep. Thank you, DK, for playing. That was helpful. Okay, so on to this upcoming week. Anything jump out at you? Any matchups that are kind of like, oh, who's going to win this one? And will it be, will it change the course of the season for anyone if they win or lose?
Well, I think, like, always because Steve is 7-1, I'm always looking at his matchup because hopefully he'll lose again. Not because I just don't want anyone to be 8-1. And I like how diverse the league is and how close everything is.
It's awesome.
And he's playing you.
Yes, he is.
So that's fun.
He's predicted to lose by 0.03 points right now. So
and you're playing a player who's projected to get 3 points on the week.
Oh yeah,
that is a little surprising.
Isn't that interesting?
And another one I actually want Thunder Gun Express again is an underdog. Every week I feel like his team's projected to lose, and every week he's winning.
He pulls it out.
All of his players are just performing higher than people expect every week.
Agreed.
Again, Jamal Williams is projected to get 8 points. I think last week he was projected to get like 6. And he had 20, 21. Because clearly DeAndre Swift is not going to be healthy all year. I think he said that himself. So Jamal Williams, I think, should be projected to get more. So I'm surprised. I think that's going to be a fun game between him and Gavin.
Yep.
What about you?
Agree. I definitely agree.
What are you looking at here?
Obviously, it looks like there's a lot of cross-division games going on. Almost all of them are. Actually, I think every game is.
Yeah, I think they all are.
Holy crap. So that makes it a little bit less intense this week because no win is worth 2 kind of thing.
Yep.
But obviously, in our division, out of all these 4-4 teams, whoever wins is going to get a huge jump up.
Yep. I think we're banking on Wall. I think Wally needs to get a big win, slow down DeAndre, who started 1-4, and he's 3 straight wins now. For
they're steamed. Yeah, they're getting going. They're getting cooking.
Yeah, they got DeAndre back. They're gonna get Deshaun Watson here in 6 more weeks.
I think it's kind of funny that Shiitake Spew plays Finney.
Yeah,
two bottom teams in each division are matching up. That's kind of fun.
Yep.
It looks like I think this is just one of those weeks that I don't think there's any wins or losses that are going to decide the season for anyone.
Well, I think Wally might need a win. He's 2-6. 2-7 might eliminate you from the playoffs.
That's a good point.
So he might be a little.
If Wally loses, he's done. And then there's just a couple other that are like a lot of these middle teams are facing each other. So that'll be interesting. I guess obviously if Perry wins, that really that really puts him atop our division. Because guaranteed one of us 4-4 teams is going to win. So if he wins, he'll keep his number 1 spot. If he loses, he's going to be tied to someone. And Gavin
should be a fun week.
Gavin is chasing Steve, which, man, the only reason I have a chance is because Steve doesn't have CMC this week because of the bye. So
one thing I will say about Wally, now he's projected to lose by 6 right now, but that's without Cordell Patterson, who he will put in his lineup over Samaje Perine. I'm assuming
he's gonna get 30 rushing attempts or something, right?
It's possible. Arthur Smith loves himself some rushing.
Anyway, looking like should be an interesting weekend, that's for sure. But thanks for doing the pod. I'm hurting. My throat is
I can hear it.
Is dying. Yeah, this sickness is getting me. I can't believe it. I'm sick again. Twice in like a week. Different sicknesses.
It's kids, man. It's daycares actually more than anything.
Must be. So first my bum and now my throat. I'm just what next? What else could there be?
Oh, there can be other things.
All right. Well, good doing the pod, man.
Yep, it was fun.
Let's do it again soon. Say your bye.
Bye.